Ripper Man's a character that was created by both God and the devil to rid the world.
Every hero has an origin story.
What is this? This is gold.
10 years old that was. I created the Diamond People. I was in 5th grade.
Joe Martino's life began here, in a nice, quiet neighborhood of Little Ferry.
He always had an imagination, had an imaginary friend from the time he could talk.
But his origins can be traced back to a few blank sheets of paper.
This was actually my bedroom. I had the same I drew this in my bedroom.
That's a person getting...
That's me.
That's you.
Joe is a comic book creator.
It's my claim to fame. I was published in an Image comic once.
He writes the stories.
Page 1, panel 1, establishing shot of Chicago, big panel. It says Chicago, Illinois, the Windy City, Chi-Town.
He designs the characters.
This is Shadow Flame. When I first created him, he was almost like a Superman type. Again, he had the trunks.
He's worked with some of the biggest names in the industry.
Bob Layton, who did Iron Man.
All for love of the art. An art that sometimes Mom doesn't quite get.
Well, it says 2 wrongs make a right. Retribution, I guess that's what it is, yep. So, not my idea of, but talented.
Just as every hero has an origin story, they also have a villain.
Maldistract, remember I told you my big bad.
Joe's villain isn't a horned demon. It's cancer.
They cut me from pretty much here. It comes all the way up.
In 2004, Joe, at 33 years old, was diagnosed with kidney cancer.
That was 2004. Then I had a recurrence in 2007, which was this side.
Joe's arch nemesis had him on the ropes.
Me, I was just like, man, what the hell's the matter with me? You know, I'm 33 years old. How the hell can this happen to me? I mean, I got a house, 2 kids, a wife. The first thing through my head was, am I going to see my daughter walk down the aisle? And my daughter was like 8.
It was a rough time. It was a rough time. It took a lot out of him, took a lot out of us. He went within himself and wouldn't talk about it.
Cancer cost Joe his family.
I did everything the opposite of what I should have done. You know, like I just crawled into my own little ball and nobody could get into it as hard as they tried. And the harder they tried, the harder it was. You know, the thicker I got.
But Joe beat cancer. He rebuilt his life. And now he has a new story to share.
You know, even as a 20-year-old, 25-year-old guy, 33-year-old guy, you kind of feel like nothing can hurt you. And then one day you find out that something can.
In the pages of a comic book.
I thought, what if an invulnerable hero got cancer?
With the help of Kickstarter, a website in which artists like Joe can get funding for their projects, Joe was able to meet and exceed his goal of $10,000.
It was amazing. We hit the goal 5 days, I think, before. Money
He will use to make the Mighty Titan a reality.
This was actually up for grabs on the Kickstarter for $1,200 and nobody took it. But I didn't want anybody to take it.
The comic book draws from Joe's real-life struggle to tell the story of a superhero who finds out that he has cancer.
He's going to go through a lot of the things I went through without putting too much more of the anger. You'll see the anger that I went through, you know. Instead of him breaking a phone, he'll break a boulder.
Do you see the side of Joe that had the cancer, that darkness? Do you ever see that come out?
Yes, I see it in his interviews and in his comics, and he doesn't share it, but he shares it through his art.
The comic book is a warning.
It's easier than you think, you know, to lose the things that you think will always be there.
A recipe for hope.
I kind of closed myself off to everybody, which is another thing that I'm going to try to do with this, is try to tell people not to. Try to stay as open as you can, because maybe you wouldn't lose as much as I did.
From a man who may not have superpowers.
During the Kickstarter campaign, I met so many people that survived cancer. Just a mother who goes through that and still sends her kids to school. That's a hero, you know.
But whose heart is in the right place.